Hi everyone, it's Kate from the Fold Line. I am back this week talking all things bags. Now, I don't know what's happened, but the last year, I feel like bag patterns are really kind of having their moment. Everyone seems quite excited about making them. We get really excited when there are new bag patterns being released on the site. And we just thought it might be fun to do a little edit of them. Now, I've called this a shortlist. I will say that by the time I split all the bags into sort of different categories, it's actually quite a long list. So what I'm going to do is kind of talk through each category and then each pattern within that. There will also be a blog post, so if you want to go and look at things in a bit more detail and a bit more slowly without me warbling at high speed, then that is there for you. So I'm going to get started because I've got quite a lot to talk about, and I would say that if you don't have a cup of tea or a gin and tonic, now is the time to pause, go and get one of those and come back. So let's start with everyday bags. This to me were items that you would use every day. They're not huge, but they will hold enough kind of your daily essentials. So these are the 4 options that I have got for you. I think they're all really nice and they all kind of tick different boxes. So I'm going to start with the Merchant & Mills Factotum bag. This is a pattern that's been around actually for quite a while. I love it. It's got, it's a zip closure, 2 quite hefty external pockets with zip at the top, which I think is fantastic, especially for phones and keys and things that you need to access all the time. The thing also I should say about it, which I personally really like, is that it has a kit that comes with it. So you can buy all the kind of leather strapping and hardware so that you don't have to hunt it out and find your own. So if you want to do a bag and you want a kind of easy life as well, this one is definitely worth going and having a look at. But this one I felt like was kind of a medium-sized bag and very, very useful. I love a crossbody one as well, but you can also wear it sort of on one shoulder. The next pattern I chose is the Fibre Mood Nusha bag. Now, I'm sure many of you saw, and I definitely mentioned it in a video a while ago, there was a Uniqlo bag that went absolutely viral on TikTok. They couldn't keep it in stock, and they now are producing them in hundreds of colours every season. They were quite reasonably priced, but the Fibre Mood Nusha bag is an absolute kind of copy of it. Well, not copy, but like, you know, it's very similar style-wise. So it's that sort of fanny pack style, which I love to say. Zipped top, it's got, it's obviously you wear it crossbody. The nice thing about this is you can wear it kind of at the front of your body or at the back of your body as well. So that if you are, I don't know, especially if you've got children, you can have it on the back when you're in the playground trying to kind of wrangle them out of situations they're not supposed to be in. Zip at the top, and actually quite roomy. I actually had a look at the one in Uniqlo and you can fit loads in it, and actually the proportions of this, having looked at the sizing of both of them, is very similar. So that one to me is really fantastic. Then I picked the Noodlehead Harrelson bag. This is quite small actually, but I like the idea if you just want to put your phone and your keys, because sometimes we don't want to lug everything with us. Or you have another bag like a backpack, but this can be your little like get everything. The thing that I really liked about it is at the back of it you can see that it's got a zip running across the back. This is great if you've got anything important, or it's just nice to have multiple pockets, and there's also a kind of zipped internal pocket as well. So it's really well thought out, this bag. And Noodlehead, if you haven't come across them yet, especially, they just do bag patterns and they're fantastic. So do go and have a look at all of their patterns because they are really great. There are quite a few in this thing. So last but not least, another Noodlehead bag. It's the Sandhill Sling bag. I thought this was another really useful item, size-wise, proportionally really great. It kind of crossbody rucksack. There are 2 variations. You can either have a patch pocket on the front or a zip closure. I like that sort of square detail of a rucksack where you kind of zip it open, and actually you can see from the picture, you can really see easily what is in your bag. There's internal pockets as well, which is fantastic. So I really think this is a fantastic one. This has been one of the most popular bag patterns actually, and I can totally see why. It's a really great design. So next up we've got backpacks or rucksacks, whatever you call them. I never know which is the right, is it a backpack or a rucksack? Is it a UK and American thing? Anyway, I've gone backpacks. I've got 4 really great patterns. They are, I mean, everyone needs one. It's very useful if you are going into work and you need to take stuff with you. Quite a lot of these fit laptops in as well, but also just for an everyday bag. So the first one I've got to talk to you about is Clumhouse. If you haven't seen Clumhouse patterns before, they are really well designed. They're great. Go and check them out, because if you like the look of this, all of their patterns have that, like, most of them have got kind of clever features. So the thing that is really great about this is it converts from a backpack to a tote. So you can see from the picture I've got, there's this like clever leather tab that runs along the top, which means that you can either just pull up the handles and it becomes a tote, and then you pull them back down and then it becomes a rucksack, which I think is so clever. So this one also has a really big, you can see it's actually in the yellow, big external pocket with a little popper. It's got a zipped top and there are internal pockets as well. I think it's a really great design. I just think it's really clever, and I like the idea that you could wear it both ways. Next up, we've got another noodle head pattern. This is another pattern that has been an absolute bestseller. I can completely see why. It's a really lovely shaped bag. So this one comes in 2 different sizes. You can see a bigger and a smaller one. It's got an external pocket in between the sort of the strapping on the front of the bag. You can also carry this as a tote as well as using it as a rucksack. It doesn't have as long as kind of strap as the Clumhouse one, but you can also carry it both ways, which is really great. It's got internal pockets, and it's a really nice pattern. I think it's one that loads of people have really enjoyed making, so this to me was like an absolute no-brainer. This pattern, next one, is the Hey June Marjorie sling bag. Now, I'm not going to lie, I kind of missed this when it was released, but I think this, out of all of the bags, might be my most favourite. I think it's really interesting, and it's got clever details, but it's also quite simple construction. So it's a bucket bag. The thing that is interesting about it is it has a clip at the bottom of the zip that you can either clip it up so that it looks like a kind of traditional bucket bag, or you can clip it at the bottom so that it's kind of easy to access the zip if you're getting in and out of it quite regularly. You clip it that way and it's really easy to access. I just thought it was really interesting. Like, it's very simple design. It wouldn't take you that long to make, but I just love the kind of that clip thing. It feels really clever. I've never seen anything like it before. It's just got one strap as well, so you can either have it over your shoulder, and you could also wear this as a crossbody as well. So I absolutely love that. I think it's really clever. So last but not least, we've got another Merchant of Mills pattern. It's the Costermonger tote. Now, I know many of you, this is feels like a bit of a cult classic, this pattern. It's another Merchant of Mills one where you can buy the hardware as a kit as well, which I think we do have. So it's great, so you don't have to think about where you can find the strapping and everything. It all comes in a little kit as well. This is another one that you can convert from a tote to a rucksack, which I just think you can't, the more versatile a bag is, the more useful it is. And it's a really simple, if you like that sort of transforming from a tote to rucksack, this construction wise is a lot simpler than the Clumhouse one. So if you are in the sort of more of the beginner category, I would say this is the one definitely to head to. It's a really great pattern and everyone loves it. So next up in my bag edit is the trustworthy totes. You can't have enough tote bags. I've picked ones that have got slightly more interesting details, and I think there's kind of something in here for everyone. So first one I'm going to start with is the Merchant of Mills 1.5 bag. Now, I'm not going to lie, I have totally missed this pattern. I have probably looked past it a couple of times, but I actually went and had a proper look at it. So clever, very simple. So the concept is that it's got, you can see there are 2 handles on it. You can fold half of it inside itself and use it as a smaller bag with the first set of handles. Then when you bought all your treasure, you unfold that other bit and you've got basically loads of extra space to put your stuff in. And I just think this is so clever. I was also thinking these would be really nice, just as like an aside, like a washing bag would be really handy for this, like make it as a washing bag to carry it kind of downstairs, or when you're traveling, you know, when you're going away, when you're away and you need like a kind of traveling washing bag. I also thought it would work quite well as that, but I just think it's really clever with those two sets of handles, and I really like that they've got the strapping that goes all the way around it, because that really adds structure and strength to the bag. So that's my first one. The second one is the Matchy Matchy Stash Pocket Tote. Quite a mouthful, that one. This one has been super, super popular. Everyone loves it. Why? Because it's got an external pocket, which is extremely useful. It's fully lined, but crucially, it's got this really fun patchwork pattern. Why is this great? You can use up all your scraps. I mean, who doesn't have come on, be honest, you have at least half a drawer full boxes of leftover bits of fabric, and this is a really great stash buster. I like the idea of batching these and giving them to presents to people. I think they'd be a really nice one. So that is why I have included this one. Next up, we've got the, I never know how to pronounce this, WISJ Tote. I love this. I hadn't, again, this is another bag pattern that's sort of slightly passed me by. So it's a kind of a beach bag, and the concept is that it's got this really great external pocket for you to put, well, whatever you want. But I love the idea of putting your shoes in there, because like a beach bag, it's like as soon as you get to the beach, you then end up carrying your shoes, you put them in your bag and you get sand in your bag. But if you put them in your external pocket, you're not going to have sand in everything in your picnic. So I thought this was a really clever idea. Obviously, you don't have to use it for that. You could put wine bottles in it. It'd be very handy, or your drinks, or like, you know, your book, the things that you want to access all the time. I just thought it was a really clever design, and I like that sort of slightly square shape on it. And it's also got taping going all the way around again, which adds some structure to it. But I thought this was a really clever little tote bag if you haven't seen it. Then last but not least is been the most popular bag this year actually, is the Barra Studios Emma Tote. It comes in 3 different sizes. It's a kind of carry tote, but there is a long strap included, so you can have it and wear it over your shoulder. It's got a zipped top, there are external pockets. It's also got this very handy, which I really like, little tab, which you can see on the picture. This I think you could use for loads of different things. You could roll up a newspaper and have it poking out. You could put your umbrella in there. It's just quite useful to have it. And also if you've got it like stored in somewhere, it's something kind of way to pull it out. So that is my sort of tote bag edit. So now my section is called out bags, for our nights out when we don't want to take loads of stuff with us, but we want something fun to kind of make our outfit a bit more jazzy. I don't know, I quite like having kind of going out bag. Makes me sound quite old, doesn't it? It really does. It's okay, I'm fine with it. So we've got 3 patterns. The first one is a brand new pattern from So Liberated. It's called the l'œuf bag, so the egg bag. Obviously because of its shape, it's very beautiful and oval. This has literally just been released, and it's really great. I just love it. There aren't that many kind of round bags. It's got an external pocket, it's got an internal pocket, and actually I think this will store more stuff than you think. But I like also the strapping detail that she's got on this. You can see that one of them is like a sort of a chain strap, and then the other one is a proper kind of batting. So that's a really nice kind of first option. Also, I forgot to mention on the back, there's a zip across the back. So that is really, really great. Then we have got the Veronica Tucker Frankie bag, which I have a massive soft spot for. I love this. 1, it's super simple to make. 2, it is reversible. 3, there are 3 different sizes that you can make it in, and it's perfect again for scrap busting. The other thing I like about it is there's a little pocket that you can put on the inside or the outside depending on how you're wearing it, and it's just really, I love the proportions of it. I think it's really, really sweet. And I was thinking, if you've got anyone who's getting into sewing or you're newish to sewing, this one would be a really nice starter bag pattern. It's super simple. So that one is also, this one has been wildly popular. So last but not least, we've got the Juliana Martesh Yasmin bag. I love this because it's basically a tote with a little bit of va-va-voom. You can see it comes in 2 different size options, and the great thing is it's got this fantastic frill that goes all the way around the outside of it. Again, this is another one that wouldn't be like really difficult in terms of the construction, but I think it really packs a punch. I like the idea of having the bag in one colour and the frill in another colour. Quite on trend for the moment, that sort of different change of fabrics, but I think it's a really fun for your out bags. So last but not least, we've got the hobby bag section. So I know that lots of people love these sort of bags where you can keep your projects all together so that they're not basically lying around the house. I have just started a cross stitch which is quite big and bulky, and I'm already driving everyone mad in my house because there's basically bits of thread everywhere. So what I really need to do is actually make one of these bags, and then I can put everything in. So they've all got different kind of things about them, and I've got 3 different options for you. So the first one is the Sew Over It hobby bag. This is probably the kind of most, maybe the most basic of them, but I thought this was really useful. So the thing that's great about it is you can see that it's got 3 external pockets, and they're on both sides. So you could use this for a multitude of projects. You know, you could use it for gardening, you could use it for knitting, you could have crochet, and then you can have all your your needles and your projects and stuff, everything kind of together, and then the kind of yarn in the middle. You could use it for everything. Painting, it'd be really nice to have all your like painting stuff in the inside, and then all your paintbrushes around the outside. It just feels like a really useful shape. It's also got a divider in the middle of the kind of main body of the bag as well, so it means that if you're working on 2 different projects, you could sort of split the bag in half and have one project with all of your kit on the outside, and then the other one with, you know, all your kit on the outside. So I like the idea that you could I feel like this is a really, really useful item. The next one is the Lazenby chamomile bag. Now, if you haven't come across Lazenby patterns, please go and have a look, because they actually have loads of really interesting sort of hobbies. If you like that sort of hobby style bag, they've got quite a lot of options and different variations. Really, I think they're really, really clever. So this is a really gorgeous sort of bucket bag. Then when you open the drawstring top, you look down and you can see from the picture, it's got external pockets going the entire way around the inside of the bag, and then you can keep the kind of body of your work in the middle. I actually think you could use, because this one is quite a bit bigger, you could even use this for dressmaking. You could have all your patterns and stuff like rolled up, and it just feels like a really lovely bag. I just think it's so clever. There's also a little clip in there that you can attach like your, you know, if your little scissors, which so they don't get like kind of lost in the quagmire of everything, or your keys if you're using it as just, because you don't need to use it as a hobby bag. This, you could use it as your everyday bag and have all pockets for your phones and everything. But I just really think it's clever. So do go and check out their other patterns because they're great. I'll pop a link down below to them so you can look as well. And then last but not least, we've got the Grain Live Field bag, which I know loads of you rave about. It's a really clever bag, and this bag is sort of designed so you keep, I think it's probably more designed for like knitting and needlework, where you make multiples of them and you can store all your projects in each bag, like 1 project per bag, which means then when you work on it, you just reach for it. So it's got internal pockets, so again, you can store the pattern, your needles, whatever it is that you're working on. They're quite a decent size. The thing I like about it, drawstring top, which means you then shut away and it's not, you haven't got bits sort of falling out. It also has this really handy and really cleverly designed, actually, I love the best designs are the most simple, this really clever little strap on the outside, which means like you can just kind of grab it and go. But it means also, I was sort of thinking that you could actually have them hanging on something if you had like a pegboard, or you know, you've like, you know, there's like shaker pegs, you could have all of your projects hanging on there, or hooks or whatever on the back of a door, like there, you could have them all hanging. I just think it's really, really clever, and these ones have been another pattern that has been wildly popular. So yeah, definitely go and have a look. And that is it. So I hope that was useful and you found something nice. I did say it was a bit of a long list, wasn't it? But there's some really lovely patterns in there, and I feel like if you haven't done bags before, maybe now is the moment to launch yourself in. Maybe start with a nice simple tote, or the field bag actually would be a nice simple starting one, and I think once you start you won't look back. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll be back soon with another video. Bye!